Gratitude is one of the most important tools to use during challenging times. I think is actually when it's the most difficult, when our blessings aren't as obvious. And I also think that that's when it can be the most effective. Hello, my name is Jessica, and I am a yogi and an author and a hospice volunteer. And I am so glad for this opportunity to partner with Shaperment to provide a yoga class for all of you and be supported as a part of their Here For You initiative at the same time. I have really been in awe of their creativity and their generosity during this time of staying at home. And what we'll be doing today is a yoga class called Bringing Gratitude to the Mat. Because the most important time to practice gratitude, I think, is actually when it's the most difficult, when our blessings aren't as obvious, and when we need to more so dig to find something to be grateful for. And I also think that that's when it can be the most effective. So for today, we're going to get started in Shavasana. You can go ahead and lay down onto your mat. Your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Feet are relaxed. Just feeling the earth below you and grounding into that. And before we start to control the breath, just start to notice the inhale and the exhale. And that it happens so automatically without us even needing to think about it. And considering the heartbeat and the other processes of the body that are sustaining us and keeping us alive, that we don't need to struggle for this breath. And what a blessing there is in that. That we get to do this yoga at home during this time. And that we have the opportunity to connect in a new way. And as you inhale, think of one thing that you're grateful for. Be the first thing that comes to your mind. And with exhaling, releasing anything that no longer serves you. A few more deep breaths on your own. Noticing the rise and the fall of the belly. And as you're ready, start to bend one knee at a time up towards the ceiling. The feet on the floor, again, feeling that earth beneath you. Or notice anywhere you might still be holding on to tension, either in the jaw, the top of the shoulders. Is there anywhere you can rest into this space even more? Blink your eyes open if they were closed. Start to draw your heels closer together. Bringing the knees into the chest, hugging around your legs as best you can reach. Breathing here. You can start to release that grip, rolling on to one side or the other, feeling the earth below you with your hand. Coming up into seated and into a forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you like. Maybe taking opposite elbows, coming into ragdoll, swaying side to side. Letting gravity take over here, letting the upper body drop down towards the floor. And as you're ready, start to roll up slowly into a standing position, Tadasana. Feeling the corners of your feet Where can you ground down more? The shoulders can relax down your back, palms facing forward. Length through the arms, reaching through your fingertips, and feeling your spine strong up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bringing the hands up overhead, looking up if you like, bringing the hands down, maybe they graze the third eye, and to the heart center. Exhaling, bending at the knees, hinging at the hips, coming into that forward fold. Inhale, look forward and halfway lift, straightening the spine. Exhaling, stepping back for plank pose. Inhale, a breath in plank, looking forward, looking ahead of you. Exhaling, bending at the elbows all the way down to your mat. Releasing the forehead, the third eye to the ground, releasing the tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale, lifting through the chest for baby cobra. Exhaling, release back down. Inhale, press yourself up to a tabletop position, assuring here that your shoulders are over your wrists, the hips are over the knees. And coming into some cat-cows, dropping the belly, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze towards the ceiling. And exhaling for cat, bringing the weight into the hands, pushing through those shoulders, tightening that core. And continue going through those cat-cows a few times on your own. Finding a neutral position as you're ready, grounding in through the hands, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up towards the sky for downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to bend through the knees, taking any movements that you need in this downward facing dog, or maybe what you want right now is simply stillness. And start to walk your feet forward towards your hands, landing with the feet hip-width distance apart, coming forward again into a halfway lift. Exhale, release, and fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming up with a flat back, palms meet overhead, and come into the center of the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips, and dive back over the legs. Finding our way again into Uttanasana. Inhale, look forward and lengthen. Exhale, step your left leg back, followed by the right leg for plank pose. Inhale, a breath in plank, look forward. Exhale, rock forward this time, coming into Chaturanga. Flip over the toes, lift the thighs for upward facing dog. Taking a moment here to look over one shoulder and the other, and exhale for downward facing dog. Stay here and breathe for a few breaths. Again, reflecting on our blessings in being able to move our bodies in this way. Inhale, lifting the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, right knee towards the right elbow and steps outside your right hand. Drop the left knee down behind you and float the chest as you inhale. Exhale, extend both legs and float inside the right knee. Twice more like that, bending into that right knee and then coming back with straight legs. And one more time on your own. The next time you bend into that right knee, lift the left knee and step outside to the left hand for Malasana squat. Taking a moment here to drop into the hips, to lift the shoulders, to really feel that prayer position through the hands at the heart. Again, noting those processes of the body happening feeling the breath, feeling the heartbeat, feeling the body, and noticing it work in this way. Releasing the palms flat to the mat, straightening through the knees, and starting to bring the feet in towards each other. Bringing the arms overhead and sitting down into a chair pose. This pose tends to be a very challenging one for most of us. So is there anything here you can think to be grateful for? The burning of the legs, the anxiety that might come to the mind. Can we be grateful that our bodies can move in this way? Coming up into standing, feeling the relief of straightening those knees, grounding in through the left foot and hugging the right knee in towards the chest. From here, we'll find a tree pose, bringing the right foot either to the thigh of the left or to the calf or even to the floor for a kickstand. Anywhere but the knee, really. Hands can come to the hips or to the heart center or up overhead, growing the branches. Remaining here for a few breaths. Bringing that right knee into the chest again. Stepping back for a lunge with both hands on the ground, framing that left foot. And what we can do here is either jump and switch the feet, or we can simply step to switch our lunge position. So right leg is forward now and left leg is back, and we will spiral up to a warrior two position. Settling into this pose with the right knee over the right ankle the best we can. Putting energy out through both arms and gazing over the front hand. Inhale, we'll straighten the knee and lift the arms up overhead. And exhale, returning to warrior two. A few more times on your own, bending and straightening. Great, we'll pause in warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down and spiral onto the back foot, stepping that foot back into a plank position and then downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling as we pause in this downward facing dog. And as you inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. And exhale, step that left heel outside the left hand, dropping the right knee. Inhale, lifting that chest. And exhale, folding over that extended leg. 2 more times on your own, opening up the hips. And the next time that you're bent through that left knee, bring the right foot forward to meet the left, coming back into that Malasana squat position. Settling into this position again. Where can you drop more through the hips? Where can you relax in this pose? You might want to close the eyes and settle in. Go ahead and bring the hands down towards the mat, straightening through the knees, folding again, and bringing the heels and toes closer together to parallel. Bending the knees and coming into this chair pose again, and seeing how it might feel different than the last time. Pausing here for a few breaths together. Straightening the knees, coming up into standing. Hugging that left knee in towards the chest and coming into tree on this side. And the way you do it on this side might be different than the last. We tend to be different in our hips and where we hold our tension. You can just be present with that. And again, you have the option for the hand position at the heart, maybe growing those branches overhead and taking a few breaths here. Bringing that left knee again back into the chest, stepping back for a lunge position. Hands coming down towards the mat. And as you're ready, switch those feet in whatever way you choose. Spiraling the right heel down and coming up into Warrior Two position. Settling into this position for a moment, feeling the power of the legs and the energy through both hands as we gaze forward. Straightening through the legs again and bringing the arms up to the sky. We'll do a few more of that. Pose bending and straightening on our own. Coming back to Warrior Two, bending through that knee, grounding the hands down to frame the foot. Coming back into Downward Facing Dog. And if you like, you can go through a Vinyasa pass if you're familiar with it, through Chaturanga, Upward Facing Dog, and back to Downward Facing Dog. Take the time that you need. We'll all meet in Downward Facing Dog. And from here, take your knees down towards the mat and come into Child's Pose. Extending the arms forward, the third eye can completely rest onto the mat, relaxing back through the hips, taking this restorative, resting pose. As you're ready, you can begin to crawl your hands back towards your knees and come into a seated position. Straightening out through the legs and folding forward. You can bend your knees as much as you might need to here. Just relaxing and let that upper body rest down. Starting to bring the chest back up towards the ceiling, looking forward. We'll bend the knees underneath us to come into a pigeon pose on the right. So we'll keep the right knee bent up towards the wrist, and the left leg will go straight back. It can be good to look back to make sure that the ankle is directly in line with the hip, that there's one line of energy there. Bring the chest higher up towards the ceiling and fold over that leg, bringing our third eye down, or maybe using something to prop under our foreheads. And taking a good amount of time here to drop in. As our practice is winding down, you can note how different you might feel now, if at all, as compared to the beginning of practice. A few breaths here on your own. And as you're ready, bringing the hands back under the shoulders, lifting the chest, maybe bringing that right leg back again for a downward dog. Lifting the left leg and coming into pigeon on the other side. Taking as much time as you need here, draping over that leg, resting. Coming up onto the hands as you're ready, bringing that left leg back for downward dog, your final downward dog of practice. And come forward into that plank position, bending the elbows all the way down, bringing the chest to the floor. And if it helps during this time, you can do a Shavasana on your belly. It can be very calming. Or you might want to flip over onto your back. Final resting pose. And you can start to wake up through the body, maybe moving the hands and the feet. As you're ready, bending your knees up towards the ceiling with your feet on the ground, rolling onto one side. And coming up into a seated position. Thank you all so much for taking the time to practice with me today. I want to thank Shapermint for this collaboration as a part of their Here For You initiative. I want to remind you all to take care of yourselves as best you can at this time. If you found this video useful, please share it. And you can find me if you'd like to continue any discussions. I am available on a Facebook page called Alive for Now book. My book is called Alive for Now, Using Death as a Teacher to Thrive in Life. And I have a whole chapter in there on gratitude. Namaste.